guys, happy Tuesday. Maybe. Yes, it's Tuesday. So wow, we have Friday the 13th coming up this Friday. That's my lucky day. It's my mom's lucky day. It's a lot of people's lucky day. Do you guys have any superstitions surrounding Friday the 13th? Like my grandma, my Danny, she would not like it if I called her grandma, and I'm gonna hear it later. She would not walk under ladders. She would avoid black cats at all costs. Broken mirrors. No. Never break a mirror. And I think that was the extent of her superstition for Friday the 13th. And, well, the day itself. So it was cute, little quirky. The steps, the cracks in the steps or the sidewalks. Never, ever. I've never seen her step on one in my entire life. Because she did raise me for a long time. Nope. I was taught you do not step on a crack in the sidewalk or the road or anywhere because it will break your mother's back. I was like, oh God. I really thought that was true for a long time. Anyways, we do have a really cool thing today called Riding the Beast, and that's, it does still have to do with familiars and everything. But again, I just wanted to thank you guys for, yesterday in the live chat. It was a beautiful... you guys are family. It literally is like a family coming on here. So it's like, wow, the support and the love and it's just overwhelming. And I love it. I love you guys more than you'll ever know. So you guys mean that much to me. So don't forget that. And don't step on a crack. Alright, so Riding the Beast. We have one, Daniel Shulk. We have a really nice excerpt from I don't know where. It doesn't tell you where they come from, but it's just a little, input from another author, or another person, another peller, another witch. So we have the wayfarer in the garden thus calls forth by his step the white of the whir. Whir is like weird, so it's witchy. That's what that means. So being the deific intersection of man and beast, standing between wild and tame, where this path is walked and wisdom knowledge of fetch results. Fetch beast, the fetch. Where'd I go? Where it is trod by the fool, abduction of mind and body results. The Daniel Shulk. It's kind of a tricky one right there. That's a really tricky one. So, well, it gets better. So, right now, the first thing we need to understand about the beast is that this power exists in everyone. Whether an animal familiar approaches you or not, it is important to always remember that one still has an inner human beast. It's very true, too. You guys all know somebody with that crazy, wild, inner human beast that comes out all the time? Yeah. So when we seek to stir the shadows and awaken primal forces from their depths, as we do in witchcraft, because that is the primal energy that we work with, we stir the beast. For most witches, the inner beast will appear as a different species of animal. So I have heard a few different connecting explanations for why the animal self of humans appears as other animals when we are outside ourselves, are already an animal. So yeah, it's really interesting that we take on those characteristics of animals because of the evolution, or I like how people say evolution. So he says here, my favored explanation is that as the species that the master endowed with the cunning fire, we are mercurial by nature, and inherently our inner beast has no one shape of its own, but it can assume the form instead of one of the ancestor animals. So the animal is not simply an animal at all, not at all, but the spirit of the beast as a whole, spirit of wolf, spirit of raven, spirit of eagle. So we have all of that inside of us, and that's pretty intense. It's really interesting. Now, learning to properly harness the power of the animal, of the beast, is central to all successful witchcraft. The beast embodies our vitalistic forces, and without this strong stimulation, we would never have the fat to burn a candle flame for long. So it could be said that the essence of success in witchcraft, that is, becoming power-filled without becoming mad and dysfunctional. Like I said last night to somebody, it can drive you mad. It literally can drive you mad. So is managing to raise the flame of the divine fire in balance with the vitalism of the beast. Now, if one is too dominant over the other, disaster will follow. Like any kind of writing, this is a precarious balancing act that we engage in. So it's really interesting to just write out on the beast within yourself, and it can get a little creepy. Now, for some people, writing is how they will literally interact with the animal, as a mount that becomes partially an extension of themselves. So for others, they will transform into the beast. Yet even then, it is referred to as riding the beast. So, as opposed to being ridden by it, an occurrence which also sometimes happens, but in certain circumstances only. So take, for instance, warrior cults where battle frenzy was sought via allowing the beast to temporarily dominate. So it dominates your consciousness, your everyday consciousness is set aside, and the beast inside of you comes out. So it's kind of like a alter ego in a sense, but it's not. Totally different. Where'd I go? Usually, however, one seeks to utilize the raw energy of the animal without being utilized by it. So yeah, you can't be overwhelmed by it or you go mad. You can't just let it, overtake you or you will go mad. So all bestial species provide both blessings and challenges, with some, such as a wolf, providing very well-known challenges. Werewolves, for this reason, were known to come in both benevolent and evil forms. By tapping this power, you are awakening a primal energy in the self that, like all primal powers, is morally gray in nature. So it's not either, good nor bad, like a tornado. It's neither good nor bad. So it is up to how this power is channeled, whether it becomes a useful force in the person's life or a dominant and destructive force. So we have that all within us, and that's a little scary about that. We have that power within us, and that's really kind of scary to an extent. Now, the relationship with the fetch animal form is normally a little different to that experienced in the case of were creatures. So the werewolf, in some cases, or fox or dog, often found in the Missouri, will experience transformation into this animal, and usually no other. Though, like everything in the path of the other world, there are exceptions to this rule. The blending of that human being with the nature of the animal is very intimate and potent, and it is not so much the familiar spirit that is that beast, but the witches themselves. That's really interesting as well. Alright, and so, often the were creature will turn periodically to carry out their otherworldly work. This gives the individual access to a great deal of primal force that can be usefully developed in sorcery that touches on a very physical, manifest matters like lust, primal life functions like birth and death, luck with money, or locating lost objects. But the challenge for such a person is always to make sure that the fire of self-awareness is kept high enough to balance the animal power. That balance of, yes, you have got to have that balance. So we have talked about the dangers of too much fire in relation to vital fire, but we have not yet talked about the dangers of excess vital powers. So, excess in these areas tend to lead to antisocial levels of lust and aggression, untempered by softer feelings or self-control, objectivity or rationality, self-interest untempered by conscience or recognition of the fact that people are beings, not objects, dominance-seeking behavior that is not tempered by a proper respect for others, and a very immoral type of animal cunning, and most of all by a pervasive state of unconsciousness. It can really mess with the mind, so you guys got to be careful about oneself and one's own motives. So that's when you become pretty much oppressed, and this other, animal fetch beast comes out, and it just, I've seen people's facial features change, I've seen their actions change, I've heard their voice change. It's just, the eyes change, the color. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. So it is sad to say that witches of this sort are not uncommon. No, they're not uncommon at all. Almost as common as the cracked vessel type when it comes to high magic practitioners. This is one of the dangers we court in stirring the shadows and making use of their primal vitalism. So alas, without strongly cultivating these powers, there's no way to safely encounter the fire. So, as with riding any unruly creature, we must rely on our sense of balance and human finesse. I mean, it is a little scary because it can get out of control. It can take over us. You know, it's still an aspect of us, so it is part of us, but it's kind of a separate, but it's still in us, layers of us. So, I mean, if that were to take over, I talk with my hands a lot. You can tell I'm part Italian. But yeah, it's just kind of scary, kind of creepy. Like, you know, with the ancestors, like that unsatisfied, you know, taste for food. I mean, wow. That's me, but it's because of my, you know, medication for fibromyalgia. So, now, this is one of the dangers. Oh, I already read that. Where did I go? Okay, so, as with writing any... I already read that. Now, we must remember that as humans, we are the artist and artisan species, capable of great subtlety and skill, and it is thus this we must rely on when riding the beast. No brute force. You just gently rock yourself into it. So many animals have more brute strength or fierceness than us, but no species is more subtle, more intelligent or cunning than man. I kind of disagree with that, honestly. The moment that we exercise brute force rather than skill on anything, we, as the term suggests, already being ridden by the beast rather than riding it, and have lost before we have even begun. So, it's very different. That is a very different aspect of ourselves coming out. Very different. It can be quite kind of scary. That just kind of reminds me of yesterday, you know, me reading about, you know, the hearth spirits, and, you know, sometimes, I mean, this is different because this does connect to the ancestors in yesterday's video, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the fetch spirit, but it does have to do with, you know, the hearth spirits and the protective spirits. So your hearth spirit, no witch really knows what it is, but we know it's there. We have factual evidence that it exists. Back in the old days when the fireplace, the hearth, was the only place, you know, it was the magical place, it was for, you know, people to come around. It was a representation of the deities of the people that lived in the household. It's really interesting that the ancestors were actually either buried underneath the hearth or somewhere near it, and so they could communicate all the time, and that made that even more powerful, and, you know, a doorway, literally, because the hearth was something that, you know, it was the heart of the home, and not a lot of people have that these days. So the altars now become your hearth. But that was really interesting about the whole, you know, concept of ancestors, you know, being buried around or under the hearth. And where was I going? I think that was pretty much it. Oh, the collective, or, you know, people from the past. It really kind of delved into people in the past. You know, the energy, the residual energy that has manifested into a form of its own, you know, will and everything. You know, that could be your hearth spirit. So just a little, you know, tidbits of all kinds of really cool information. So I find it so incredibly fascinating. I don't know why. So let's do some coffee talk real quick, if it will let me. I just thought it was, I was like, wow. I read that last night and I jotted my notes down, and then I came upon this today, and I'm just like, wow. I would love to have my ancestors buried, you know, underneath my hearth, if I had a hearth, and I don't. I did in my very first apartment. I had one, and it was beautiful. I mean, gorgeous, and I didn't really know what I was doing with it until I set all my altars up, and boom, I knew what I was doing. I knew there was something there. I knew there was something powerful going on with that hearth. What is going on with my computer? No, there we go. Wow, that's bright. It's very interesting. So yeah, I made the connection, the communication with the family members, and, you know, worship, you know, all in one at the hearth. And I really wish we still had them, and I really wish we did have one, but then we took it out because it was really wasn't a hearth. It was more of a pellet stove to heat the house, and it was way too hot. So, but yeah, it was really interesting. It was a really interesting read. And this was before the days of, you know, microwaves and coffee pots. So you've got to, yeah, you've got to warm everything up on the hearth. You know, get the fire going and do your thing. You know, make the food and everything else, magical preparations, all of that, you know, went into that. I love the dark mode. Do you guys like the dark mode for the creator studio? If you're a creator on YouTube, creator content is amazing. I love the new YouTube. I'm loving it. It is so cool. It's taking a little longer to load though, I've noticed, because of the dark mode. I don't know why. So it's just pretty interesting. It is really cool. It's not like boom, blast of white, yeah, burning your retinas out of your eyeballs. It does take a little bit longer to load, so I'm sorry guys. But yeah, I hope you guys liked yesterday's video. Oh, now it's, you know, page unresponsive. Oh wait, not for long. There we go. Hey. Ooh, there's a lot of new stuff. A lot of new stuff going on YouTube. I love it. We have these shorts that we can upload now. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. My chihuahua. Yeah, I had to show you guys that video and give you guys some updates about his shots and his injections, which I think are amazing. Adequin is a miracle for chihuahuas. Love it. Hi, my Gustavo. Hi, my brother. How are you? How are you? How are you? Don't worry, I am working for you. Don't worry. J Phoenix, love you, brother. I love you too. Very much. Bitter Almond, so sorry this happened. I swear so many things happening that are so bizarre and frustrating. There is no money that can replace you. Aww. Aww. I love you. Thank you. That means a lot. Again, you guys will never know how important you are to me. It's like family. Literally. Soul of Thorns, your lives are wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I enjoy you in there. I enjoy all of you in there. Electric Hue. Hi, love. I would love to ask what 111 or 1111 means. I have been seeing that number for months. I see it all the time, too. I don't know, honestly. Honestly, I don't know. There's no real factual, like, or archaeological or, you know, past evidence of these numbers, repetitive numbers. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure there's something somewhere about it. So, Soul of Thorns. I talked to a tree today. Oh my god, did you really? So cool on my Ouija board. Love you, Ryan. Stay cool. I love you too. Oh, with the Ouija? You can talk to plants with the Ouija. You can talk to anything. Animals. I talk to my dog. I don't need the Ouija now, but we talk. Alright, River of Souls. Hi, there's some really weird shit going on everywhere. People are nuts. Whoa, I'm sorry this happened to you. So crazy. It was really crazy. Never thought a person would tell me, or would pay people to leave my channel. How much do you guys, are they offering you guys? Is it good? Is it worth it? Okay, Cali Foxglove. I hope I said that right. Do you have a Discord channel? I don't. You can find me all over. Just Google me. I love you. Thank you. Warrior Girl. I find you entertaining, kind, and caring. I tune in a lot. I know you do. I love you. I love you. No one can pay me to leave your channel. From Denver, Colorado. I love Denver, Colorado. I miss it. Alright, Electrocute. Soul of Thorns. My Gustavo, my brother, Lady Witch. Dark Prince Lucy. Hi, you. Mr. Shadow. Melissa, the Partial Son. Hi, you. Who else? Oh, where'd it go? There it went. Cindy Miller. Hi. Santa Muerte on a Harley, Brent Edwards, Lord Welb, Carolela Custa. Hi guys. Beetle Depth 3000, Diane Hannon, I love you to death. Lisa Oaks, Alexandra Hill, Ava Lagasse, Susie Civiter, My Queen of Negativity, Alchemy of Life, and Kate the Witch. I love you guys. Alright, my 20-minute mark is coming up, so I hope you guys enjoy. Everybody please be safe, stay healthy, stay cool. It's really hot outside, like 105 plus heat index, so just stay inside and be healthy and stay, yeah. So I love you guys with all my heart. Thank you guys so much. So all my love all the way from Venus, always, all the way back down. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So, I love you guys, and thank you for watching.